Evening Sim fans, it's JP here from JP Sim Shed, and tonight we're going to raffle off a custom anodized blue Jinx V2 Sequential Shifter. Yes, some lucky viewer sim racer is going to be the owner of a shiny new Jinx V2 Sequential Shifter soon. Before I do that though, I'd like to introduce you to my cohort that's going to be joining me here while we're doing this broadcast tonight. Ed, how's it going?
Yeah, very well, JP. Exciting to be here. I'm sure we've got some excited people out there as well, waiting to see if they're going to be the lucky winner of this fantastic shifter. And it's got to be a really good way to round off the long weekend for someone. So, yeah, looking forward to see who the lucky person is.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very cool that that Jinx has given us this shifter to raffle off. The response was absolutely phenomenal. We sold out the tickets within hours, literally, of putting them up. So always popular. I know everybody who knows Jinx Shifter knows that these are a quality product. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who the winner is. Like you said, a lot of excited people out there waiting to see if their name comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, Jinx has just got such a good name throughout the industry these days, and everybody who's even slightly into their sim racing knows who they are and wants one of their products. So to be able to get one for the price of a ticket is that's something that I'm not surprised everyone's jumped all over.
100%. Yeah. Look, I've been using the Jinx Shifter now for getting close to a couple of years. Started with his first hand built shifter, and now I'm using the V2, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, really pleased to be able to do this today.
Absolutely. So without further ado, we should probably get into it.
Yeah, yep, let's do that. But before we draw the lucky winner, I guess seeing as though I've got a captive audience, just wanted to let people know what's going on in JP Sim Shed and throughout the sim racing community. So to do that, I'd like to introduce you all my right-hand man at JP Sim Shed, Rob Carmichael. Rob, how's it going, buddy?
Good, thanks, JP. Thank you for hosting this event. Thank you to Jinx Shifters for putting his shifter up here. Going to be an excellent night, so I look forward to it.
Fantastic. So I know I've been really busy getting this whole broadcast side of things happening, doing the raffle for the Jinx Shifter and whatever. So why don't you fill me in as well as to what's been going on in JP Sim Shed?
Absolutely. So as all our sim fans know, many were involved. 2 weeks ago, we had our Daytona 24-hour. JP Sim Shed had 5 cars started, and we actually had 5 cars finish, which that was our main goal, was to get all the cars across the line at the end, and we managed to do that. We had one Corvette C7 Daytona prototype, which finished second in top split, which was our best result for the 24-hour. We had one Mercedes AMG GT3, which finished P8 in top split. We also had 3 Porsche RSR cars. One of them finished P6 in top split, which was an excellent result. We had P6 in second split, which were actually filled with drivers that had never done an endurance race before. So to finish P6 in a 24 hours was absolutely excellent. And we also had P11 in second split, which, again, for those guys, hadn't done a 24-hour before. So we're absolutely thrilled with their result. We now look ahead to the Bathurst 12 area in just under 2 weeks' time, and our practice is definitely starting to ramp up. At this stage, we have about 4 cars in the Mercedes AMG GT3. And we're really looking forward to getting to the second major Enduro underway in 2020. JP, I'd like to hand it back over to you, mate.
Fantastic, mate. So yeah, fantastic win by the guys. Absolutely awesome to get all of our cars across the line in the Daytona 24 hours. You know, to be able to get one car across the line in a 24-hour race is fantastic. To be able to do it with every car that you've entered, yeah, awesome. Absolutely awesome. So some of you may have noticed that some of our streams have had a bit of a name change. So we've changed ourselves to SimShed Broadcasting for our streaming. What's going to be happening is in the next few weeks, you're going to see us starting to broadcast obviously more of the team races that we do, but also we're going to be broadcasting some outside races, different leagues, throughout iRacing. So it's going to be really exciting times for us.
Absolutely. So looking forward to that big change, I suppose, of launching the new broadcasting service, SimShed Broadcasting. Going to be is already signed up, I believe, as an official broadcaster for a couple of leagues, not just team focused, but the actual broadcast for those particular competitions that are running, and some very prestigious competitions as well, at least on the Australia and New Zealand landscape.
Yeah, it's been great to be able to have been accepted this way. You know, we started this whole thing off as an idea. You know, hey, we've got these Butte overlays. We've got access to all of this technology. How about we try and do some broadcasting and bring a little bit more entertainment through JP SimShed to those that are checking us out? And so SimShed Broadcasting has come about. So what's going to be happening in the next week or so, I'll be putting up a calendar on our JP SimShed page and probably the Abruzzi page as well, just letting people know when and what we're going to be broadcasting.
Yes, absolutely. So that is going to be your one-stop location for everything SimShed Broadcasting related. So anytime that you want to see any of the races that are going to be shown via that service, you'll know exactly where to find it.
Absolutely. So on to the next feature here. We're not going to be broadcasting these guys, but a lot of you have seen the AOSC Australian Online Supercar Championship. These guys are at it again, providing some really top-class racing and entertainment for supercar enthusiasts. So I've got their promo video, so I thought I'd play it and then introduce you to one of the admins from the AOSC, and we can have a quick chat to him. So without any further ado, let's check out this promo video. Yeah, that was very cool stuff. So right now I'd like to introduce you to one of the admin for the Australian Online Supercar Championship, Mark Samuel. Mark, how are you tonight, mate?
Yeah, g'day JP and Rob and the team. Great to be here. Doing well myself. How about you guys?
Yeah, really good. Man, I checked out the last couple of races for the AOSC. I wanted to actually be racing in it, but I had so much to do I couldn't get in there. Some fantastic racing, really great broadcasting from Apex Racing. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I don't know. I think admin might be a bit of a stretch. I think I just happy to be involved and helping Nick out with all the work he does. Some of the racing's been just phenomenal. I mean, James Scott 2 from 2. If you count the summer series, he's 5 from 5. He's really just got it over everyone at the moment, which is phenomenal from him. And the guys at Apex have, yeah, I think the broadcast look so slick. Just you can't beat those guys. They do such a fantastic job. In terms of numbers, we've got 172 signed-up drivers to race AOSC this season, which it's sort of beyond all of our wildest expectations to have that many people interested to do Friday night supercars, and hopefully people are having a good time. The feedback seems to be good. People enjoying live race control, as you'd know from AMF and those sorts of places in the GT world. That Ryan and his team they're a class act.
Yeah, absolutely. That was actually one of the things I was going to ask you. What sort of things can people expect this year? So what sort of changes have you got with AOSC this year?
So I guess the biggest thing is the live race control. So previously incidents were reviewed after the race and you'd be given a points penalty or a license penalty. Typically points would be docked from your championship tally. This season it's live race control powered by RMS with Ryan Kolstad sort of as our chief steward. Effectively we've outsourced stewarding to him. So people can expect to see up to 3 splits for sprint races and up to 2 splits in endurance races with full live race control, drive-through penalties, all the usual stuff there. And of course, there's a driver's license penalty point system as well. So if you do cop drive-throughs and go over the incident limit and just sort of cop a few of those penalties, you could expect at some point, if you don't change your ways, to be sitting out around here and there, if that's the case. But hopefully, no, it doesn't come to that for some drivers. But the feedback seems to be fantastic. Ryan does a good job. Full manual safety car as well. So it sort of takes some of the features that we want and love out of iRacing and the road course side of supercar racing and safety cars, and the way the strategy unfurls to that next level that you just don't get with the iRacing manual automatic supercar safety car.
Yeah, I noticed that. The broadcast looked fantastic. Apex, like I said, Apex Racing have done an awesome job. Cars look brilliant too. Guys have taken a lot of time preparing their cars, making them look good. The whole thing is a real polished act. Definitely, people should check it out. And if they're interested in getting into some really hard, close racing that's monitored and fair, they should definitely try to have a go at the AOSC.
I think anyone is in this thing. Okay, you don't see some of the super top guys, but this is a place where anyone can go and have a bit of take it to the likes of Jordan Ross. Evolution Racing Team are up there. Pursuit Sim Racing are up there. These are the teams that are there to beat in 2020, and anyone can just go and have a stab. Registration is only $15, which I reckon is pretty good for the amount of content that you get from the series. And there's prizes up for grabs from Abruzzi, Sam Blacklock Media. All those guys are chipping away to give people a chance of winning something. Not just the people winning, but it's people like Safe Driver. So $10 if you're the top place driver with no incident points or the lowest number of incident points. So trying to share the love, as it were.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And for anyone that's interested in having a look, joining up, or even checking the broadcasts out, I've actually got the links to all of these things that we're going to be mentioning tonight. So I've got the links to the AOSC Facebook page, the links for Apex Racing Online. So absolutely, check this stuff out. These new supercars look amazing. They drive as good as they look. Well, I think they drive as good as they look. A lot of people might disagree with me there, but seeing a field full of these cars competing, looks awesome.
Thanks again, JP, and happy to be a part of your draw and come along and share some information. And good luck to the lucky winner of a Jinx Shifter. I know that someone's going to be pretty stoked in the next little while to be having one of these bad boys head their way.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Mark. Thanks for taking the time out of your Monday and coming and having a chat to us about this great series that you guys are running.
No problem.
All right, take care.
Thanks, JP.
Real quickly, one of the things that we will be broadcasting this year is the Panorama Drivers Club. If you haven't checked this out, it's definitely worth having a look at it. This is some very, very cool multi-class racing, very hard multi-class racing. Usually in short endurance format, 2 hours, usually 2 hours 20 minutes, 2 hours 30 minutes around Mount Panorama. Ed, you've done a bit of driving in the Panorama Drivers Club. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
All right, so yeah, it's really one of my absolute favourite series going at the moment. It's an absolute joy to compete in. Really been enjoying it, and the main premise behind it is it's set up very much like the VLN in the Nürburgring, and that is it's the Panorama Drivers Club. So Mount Panorama is our home track, and every month they run a 2 hour and 20-minute endurance race up there. If you call 2 hours and 20 minutes endurance race, a short enduro, I suppose. And the whole idea is that it's social racing, it's low key, it's a gentleman driver style series. So the whole idea isn't no one's there racing for sheep stations, bringing in hardcore team tactics or anything like that. And there's no nasty rivalries or anything. It's just a group of guys getting together and having a really enjoyable race. And that's been a really good thing about it. It's got the live race control as well. So if little incidents do need looking at, the race control will generally step in just to ensure that everyone's having a good time. But it's very much set up as a low-key gentleman driver style series where everybody just gets together and has a good time, and there's a real you almost want to say party atmosphere to each event. They come along once a month, they're eagerly anticipated, and I don't know anybody who's not having a huge amount of fun in that series.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch. I think last time they had a capacity grid, didn't they?
Very, very close. I don't believe it was quite a full grid, but I think it was only 1 or 2 cars away, but I could be wrong on that. So, but it was certainly a very, very big field, and it looks like it's an idea that's just growing all the time. So obviously got the GT4 cars coming as well, and I believe they're actually looking at implementing the GT4s as another class to be added to those particular races. We've got the Porsche Cayman coming and also the BMW. So that's going to be an added structure to that, and they've gone out of their way to provide like a licensing system. So you're not having inexperienced guys jumping straight into the faster class cars. They sort of learn their way in the easier to drive stuff first off. So lots of different ways that drivers of all skill levels can get involved in it, and drivers of all skill levels are getting involved in it, and I think everyone's having a blast.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, this is one of those sorts of races that if you want to have a bit of fun, definitely get involved. If you're just interested in watching these sim races get around Mount Panorama with these different class cars, and I can tell you, sometimes when you've got the Kia and the Audi TCR coming up on a Mazda MX-5, bit of heart in mouth stuff, but absolutely check it out. Once again, I've got the links to those series, so it's definitely worthwhile having a look at. Absolutely. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is the 2020 ANSCAR series. This is another series that SimShed Broadcasting is going to be broadcasting. This is a series that Ed's actually one of the administrators for, and also he's going to be heading up the JP SimShed stock car team going into that. I don't actually have any promo for the ANSCAR series, but I thought I'd do a bit of gratuitous promoting of the stock car team. So let's just check that out, and we'll have a quick chat to Ed about ANSCAR. I have to say those cars look pretty awesome. And take this opportunity to send a big shout out to our sponsors, Goodyear Auto Care, Abruzzi Raceware, Drive Sim, and of course, I forgot the last one. No, I didn't. Jinx Shifters. Thanks very much for standing, but getting behind us last year and this year. We really appreciate it. So, Ed, why don't you tell us a little bit about the ANSCAR series?
All right, so the ANSCAR series is run by, as JP alluded to earlier on, myself and a couple of other guys that help us with that. So we've got an admin team that our goal really is to make ANSCAR the home of stock car racing across the Australia and New Zealand iRacing hemisphere, I suppose. And what we're actually doing this year is that it's actually going to be our biggest year ever as far as the number of races we're holding. So up there at the moment, I believe you can see the Cup calendar now. The Cup series is our premier series. It's going to be broadcast live. Every race is going to be broadcast live on SimShed Broadcasting. So that's great. So we've got backing from Abruzzi Raceware and Virtual Motorsport Mentor as well. And as you can see from that calendar, we're going to be running a full 36 round championship that goes across the whole of 2020, including a chase right at the end, as per the real life NASCAR competition. There are prizes available as well. Abruzzi and Virtual Motorsport Mentor have both put up some awesome prizes for us. So not just for the champion, but there's participation and Rookie of the Year and Best and Fairest and other types of things as well. So regardless of what your skill level is, everyone's got something to race for, and everyone's got something to aim at as well. So we're really looking forward to it. It should be an absolutely brilliant year. If you're not necessarily confident stepping right into the top level Cup car straight away, we are running some shorter series for the trucks as well, which tends to be most people's entry point into stock car racing. And also we've got a series running the Xfinity cars, which is going to be in a time zone that's a little bit more friendly to our friends across the ditch in New Zealand. So yeah, quite often they find when they want to participate in Australian League racing that they are up until all hours of the night, 1 a.m, and so this is going to be a little bit more convenient for them as well to run in. So we're actually going to have a New Zealand champion and a Cup champion, and obviously the trucks as well. So it's going to be a very full-on year, especially looking at that calendar. I realise how much racing I've got ahead of me, but definitely if there's anybody out there who's looking for a little bit of stock car racing action, definitely drop us a line at ANSCAR and we can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, fantastic. And you're going to be spearheading the JP SimShed stock car team for the Cup Series, aren't you?
Yeah, I've just actually, as you mentioned that, I'm realising how much work I've got on my plate. But yes, I'm going to be doing that as well. I'm going to be racing alongside Jason Hardigan, Josh Carroll-Walden and Norman Clark in a 4-car team in that particular series. And we may even have some other guys from around JP SimShed jumping in for the odd race as they wish to, which you're perfectly able to do. You're able to run a partial series if you want to do that. You don't have to do all the rounds. We actually have 4 drop rounds in the scoring as well, so you can afford to miss a couple. But yeah, so I mean, we've been sort of working hard behind the scenes for quite a while now, and just about got everything together for the Daytona 500 coming up in a few weeks' time. So everyone's getting pretty excited for that. Should be a really good event and a really good way to kick off the 2020 season for stock cars.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it. And like Ed said, if anyone's interested in having a go at stock cars, by all means, have a look at the links. Visit the ANSCAR Facebook page. Send Edward a message. You know, it's pretty interesting stuff. I actually did my first stock car races last year, and I have to say I was addicted. I'd love to be doing a lot more of it, but the guys have got their stock car team organised. I'll probably show up in a JP SimShed car every now and then and see if I can keep myself out of trouble.
That's half the battle, definitely half the battle. And you know, it's a lot of a different mentality to the style of racing that people might be used to as far as the road racing and so on. It can be sometimes difficult for people to get their heads around the fact that a top 20 can be quite an achievement. You know, it can be a really good finish if you can consistently hit top 20s. But there's a lot of cars in the field. It's you know, it's you get body contact, rubbins racing, as they say, and yeah, it's generally a good time for everybody.
Yeah, awesome. And we're hoping at SimShed Broadcasting to make this our flagship broadcast. We're doing some something a little different. We're hoping that we're going to be able to bring some real NASCAR style immersion to this series. Yeah, so bring on the Daytona 500. Really looking forward to it.
Boogity boogity.
All right, moving on. Just wanted to touch bases on our friends from Virtual Motorsport Mentor. These guys have done a fantastic job. The initiative itself was developed by Chris Purnell. If you don't know who Chris Purnell is, he's a fellow Australian that's earned his stripes not only as a fiercely competitive and able sim racer, but also as a respected team leader as well. These guys do group coaching sessions. They're also going to be starting up one-on-one coaching programs, as well as team endurance coaching for up to 6 drivers. They'll help you on race strategies, setups, driver endurance coaching. Chris and the guys at Virtual Motorsport Mentor, I think are going to be pretty vital for anyone that wants to sort of improve their sim racing or even sort of get their head right, so to speak, with sim racing. So really wish Chris and the guys well. If you want to know more about Virtual Motorsport Mentor, check out the link in this stream.
Yeah, 100%. It's a great initiative, isn't it? And Chris is somebody that I've known for a very long time now, and yeah, he's definitely somebody who's well worth listening to as far as his tips. He's a very, very quick guy. He's also very good at teaching and passing that knowledge on to people. Got a great method of doing that, and can be quite patient as well. I think any time that any of us first started out doing this style of thing, doing sim racing, and you jump in for the first time, you feel like you're going really quick, and then you look at the lap times and realise you could probably be beaten by Continental Drift. But yeah, Chris is one of those guys who really has the ability to impart the knowledge and experience that he's got onto just about anybody. So certainly, if you're looking for a few extra tenths of a second, or maybe even a few extra whole seconds in lap time, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, 100%. And I really wish those guys well at Virtual Motorsport Mentor. When I say those guys, I mean Chris. So moving on now. Just wanted to talk really briefly about Abruzzi Racewear. I don't know if a lot of you know or not, but I actually am the Australian and New Zealand distributor for Abruzzi Racewear. Paraphrasing a very old ad, and if you know what ad I'm talking about, you're really showing your age now. But I was so impressed with these guys that I literally bought into the company. They manufacture sim racing along with karting, gloves, and boots in a range of pre-designed templates. Or if you want the real personal look, you can work with me on designing something unique for yourself, so something completely custom. Abruzzi also do a range of custom, standard, and CIK FIA Level 2 certified karting suits, as well as teamwear. So if you're after custom racewear that won't break the bank, Abruzzi really is your way.
And there's absolutely nothing like having your own gear completely personalised to you, your own size, made to measure, and the colours that you want, and everything like that. So certainly, if you're after that sort of thing, and why wouldn't you be, to be perfectly honest, Abruzzi's the place to go.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Well, guys, thanks for sticking with us so far. I'm sure you're all anxious to see who's won that new Jinx V2 shifter, sequential shifter. But before we actually do the draw, I think we should introduce you all to Mr. Jinx himself, Simon Richardson.
Thank you, JP. Hello, everybody.
Just give you a round of applause here.
Done.
How are you, Simon?
Not bad. Yourselves?
Yeah, real good, man. Thanks very much for coming along. Thank you very much for putting this beautiful piece of sim hardware together. Tell us a little bit about it, Abruzzi. How did you start out?
Well, I started sim racing back in about 2012, and obviously when you build your own rigs and that sort of stuff, just out of wood, it all evolves. And I decided to build my own shifter. And after a few times, a couple of the guys I race with ended up wanting one of my products, so I just started building it for them, and that's where it evolved from.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. Like I've said to people, I've been using one of your shifters now for close to a couple of years. I started out with your hand cut shifter, which I thought was absolutely awesome way back when I first got it. This new Jinx V2 just takes it to another level again.
Yeah, it surely does. The effort of CNC machining really brings it all.
Absolutely, but you don't only do shifters, you do a lot more than that these days, don't you?
Yes, I also do the anti-roll bars. The new ones are push-pull, so it really brings the immersion to sim racing. And also do the brake biases, just like you'd see in a Holden V8 supercar.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, thoroughly recommend anyone that is looking for a shifter with as close as possible feel to a real supercar. Check these Jinx shifters out. You certainly won't be disappointed.
I certainly reckon some of the V8 supercar teams would be happy with a piece of that quality. I remember a few years ago, Triple Eight actually breaking one. I can't imagine this breaking, just sort of looking at the build quality in here and just the amount of work and the amount of design and evolution and perfecting that's gone into this. And it reminds me very much of when you see one of those old pieces of heavy machinery that's been made, sort of back in the 1900s or something, where you just look at it, you feel it, and you work with it. It still feels as good as the day that it was first made, and you can tell that it was built with pride and built to last. And that's what I'm most reminded of with the, the very mechanical and solid quality way in which these shifters are put together.
Yeah, look, they are an awesome bit of gear, and yeah, you really can't go wrong. I mean, I drive mine like I hate it, and Simon tells me time and time again that's how you need to drive the thing. You need to use it like you hate it, bash up and down through the gears. It'll take it, and it certainly has. My shifter hasn't missed a beat since the day I got it.
Well, that's the whole idea of it.
Fantastic. Well, guys, how about Simon? You stick around, and I guess now it's time to draw the winner of the Jinx Shifter prize.
I'm actually tense. I'm excited. Who's it going to be? I'm actually very interested to see who this is going to be. I'm excited for them.
Now, let me see if I can get the actual page up. Looks like I might have a little technical hitch here. We need to get the number wheel up so we can draw the prize. So I'm going to let you guys riff a little bit.
Oh, we're going to riff. Now is not the time for a technical glitch. You've got people on tenterhooks out there waiting to see who's going to win this awesome prize. So you can see it there on the screen at the moment. So just taking a look at the detail and, as we mentioned, the craftsmanship and the workmanship that's gone into that particular piece. So somebody is going to, as we mentioned at the top of the show, going to have a very, very good end to their Australia Day long weekend.
Absolutely, Ed. I'm going to join you on that one, mate. I actually haven't got a ticket, but I'm just as nervous as you are. To Jinx and his team, thank you very much for giving or putting your shifter up for the auction. It's a fantastic initiative, especially with the Australia Day colours of the blue. It's a rare coloured shifter that we don't see. So I'm sure the winner will be very lucky here tonight.
Okay, do I see the wheel on screen, JP? Is that it, ready to go?
Yep, that's the wheel, ready to go. So
here we go.
I don't have a drum roll, but we're going to give it a spin, and let's
Good luck, everybody.
Who wins this shifter.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
Number 30 it is, and 30 is Dean Albin.
Well
Dean.
done, Dean. Well done.
Congratulations,
mate.
So Dean is going to be getting that piece coming through to them. That's fantastic. Well done. Sorry to all the guys who missed out, but for Dean, that's been absolute. You should be thrilled with that, mate, because that's quite a prize.
Absolutely. Well, that's pretty much all we've got time for. Everything was leading up to the launch of the draw of the Jinx Shifter. We've drawn the Jinx Shifter. Dean, you're the lucky winner. If you're not online now, we'll get in contact with you, and we'll be sending you out a new Jinx Shifter.
And of course, it's not going to be the last product we get a chance to raffle off, is it, JP? For the guys who didn't win tonight, I imagine there's something coming in the pipeline.
I'm sure I can always come up with something.
Fantastic. So, yeah, well done to Dean. And for the rest of you, keep your eyes on the JP SimShed page, because once JP figures out what the next raffle is going to be, we'll get that one up there as well. And of course, even if you're not into the competitions, we're going to have plenty of broadcasting and sim racing content available for everyone to check out as well. So it's going to be a big year.
100%, Ed. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for getting a ticket. Unfortunately, we could only have one winner, but that winner is going to be very, very happy. And like Edward said, look, we'll be looking to see what we raffle down the track. And so keep an eye on JP SimShed. Keep an eye on SimShed Broadcasting. We've got some great broadcasts coming up, and I'll get a calendar up, and you can all see what we've got coming along. So. From me, it's thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Ed. Thanks, Rob. Thank you, Simon, Mark, everyone that was a part of this. Thanks very much. And we'll catch you for the next one.
Thanks very much. Awesome to be here. Glad to be part of it.
Thank you, JP. Congratulations.